Guys, welcome to Grammar TMAP English video tutorial. This video is presented by Z English. Making English practical is our priority. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button for more upcoming videos. You may also follow us on Instagram account at english.level.up, or you can also like our FB page Z English. Thank you for subscribing and following. Today we are going to learn about verb. What is verb? Verbs are the action word in a sentence that describe what the subject, such as people, animal or thing, is doing. Verb always come after a noun or pronoun, also known as subject in the sentence. There are three most important verbs: action verb, auxiliary verb and infinitive verb. These verbs are considered important because they are frequently used in sentences that we construct every day. Firstly, we need to learn about the verb that describe mode. Whenever we use verb in a sentence or when we are speaking, we actually have some kind of intention, such as asking, stating and instructing, that shows our purpose. For example, when we are saying I eat an apple, we are actually stating that we eat an apple. Do you eat an apple? Well, actually we are asking a person whether he or she eats apple. Eat your apple. Okay, when we are saying that, we actually are instructing a person to eat an apple. So technically, when we use verb, we do it with different intention. Secondly, we have auxiliary verb, which also known as helping verb. Imagine if you don't have auxiliary verb in a sentence, the subject will not be connected to the object. Thus, the meaning will never be understood by others. With auxiliary verb, we can write sentences in different mood, voice and tenses, like the present tense and past tense. For example, I am eating an apple, I have a meeting later, I had a breakfast just now. Other than this example, is, are, was, were and has are also considered as auxiliary verbs. Next, we also have action verb. This is the type of verb that we always use in our daily conversation. It shows action, whether mentally or physically. For example, I eat too many apples. I hate her. We will talk about that later. Alright, the key info here is that it describes about what is happening. Next, we also have transitive verb. By definition, transitive verb is a verb that accepts one or more object, whether it is direct or indirect object. A transitive verb is written in full sentence pattern, that is S, V and O, which means it has both subject and object in the sentence. For example, I eat an apple, I caught a fish, she chooses a dress. Right, so the key info here is that transitive verbs, right, or transitive sentences written with object, right, it has the object as well as the subject. Contrary to transitive verb, we have the intransitive verb. What is an intransitive verb? Intransitive verb is often identified as the verb that cannot be followed by what or who. It doesn't allow direct object. It is written without its object. For example, the bell rings. I like. It squeaks. And it forms a very short sentences. Okay? Alright, next. Let's look at the participle. What is participle? A participle is word forms from verbs. Usually, this occurs by adding a suffix to the verb, but sometimes there are irregular formations. The present participle is always formed by adding the suffix ing to a verb. When it is used with auxiliary verb, such as is, are, was, were, and am, it forms a compound verb as in present continuous tense. Look at the example. She is babysitting tonight. I am singing a song. They were talking too much and got a detention. The key info that you need to remember here is that we must always, present participle always formed by adding the suffix ing to a verb. Next, we have the past participle. Past participle is often but not always, formed by adding the suffix ed to a verb. It can also be paired with an auxiliary verb such as like, was, were, has, and had to show that an action has been completed. For example, he was finished with the project. I have lived an interesting life. He has lied to me too many times. So the key info here is past participle is formed by adding the suffix ed to a verb. It can also be paired with an auxiliary verb such as like, was, were, has, and had to show that an action has been completed. We also have irregular verb. Alright, you must note that there are many participles in English that are irregular and do not use the ed suffix. Alright, for example, we have the song was sung well by the rising opera star. The new bed was brought into the house. The physician said that I have broken my right arm. Next, we have the infinitive. On the other hand, it is different than the participle. Infinitive here means the word to is used in a sentence. When we are using infinitive in a sentence, we need to make sure the verb placed next to it is in its base form. Base form here means it must not have any prefix or suffix. There's supposed to be no ing, no ed, no es, no ias, no s, and etc. For example, I want to buy a pair of leggings. You seem to ignore me. Next, we have the voice. What is the voice? It is the term used to describe whether a verb is active or passive. As you can see in the example, I drive the Lamborghini. In the sentence, the subject I is being put in the beginning of the sentence and the object, the Lamborghini, is being written at the end of the sentence. The subject I is doing the action of the verb, so we call this active voice. The Lamborghini is driven by me. The subject I is being put at the back of the sentence and the object, the Lamborghini, is being written in the beginning of the sentence, which is the opposite of the first sentence. The subject is acted upon, so we call this as passive voice. So we need to pay attention on the voice of a verb, whether the subject is acting or being acted upon. I hope you guys learned all this by heart and make sure you understand what we have revised today. That's all the time that we have. If you have question, please put it in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe Z English YouTube channel. Do follow us on Instagram and like our FB page. Alright? Please download our very special Grammar Tibet ebook. I have attached the link in the description below. Thank you for watching.